What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over loot spots that are good for getting wins in Fortnite Season 4. So these spots are going to be more low-key, not as contested off spawn, so you can avoid like early game RNG, but they're still going to have enough loot that you're going to be at a very good spot and set yourself up to get the win. If you guys do enjoy this video or find it helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below where your favorite place to land has been so far in Season 4. And in Season 4, a lot of these low-key spots got a huge buff because of how much better vaults became in Season 4. I have a whole video talking about vaults, which will be linked in the description below. But vaults have an insane amount of loot. All you need to open them is a key, or 2 keys in some cases, which you can get just from looting. And you can even see the lock on your map if there's any vaults near you. So vaults are really good, and they make a lot of these spots a lot better and a lot more consistent. And reality saplings are also still in the game. So if you like any of these spots, you can plant your reality tree here and use that as like a supplemental source of loot. And you can actually regrow your reality tree using chrome splashes. And you can duplicate chrome splashes by throwing it on a tree or a rock and then destroying the tree or the rock. So you can get infinite loot with a reality tree and chrome splashes, essentially. The first place we're going to be talking about is going to be Sunny Steps in this island nearby. And there's also a vault here as well, which is really nice. I've talked about this place a lot last season because there was an NPC here that sold shockwaves. The NPC no longer sells shockwaves, but the EV that's on this nearby island sells boogie bombs. And boogie bombs are going to be removed from the game in the next update. Epic has already said that and confirmed that. So it's possible this EV might end up selling something worthwhile in the future whenever the next update comes that vaults boogies. But Sunny has a good amount of loot still. This island has a good amount of loot. Whichever you want to land at is fine, or you could loot all of it. And then also the vault nearby will have a good amount of loot. And whether you land Sunny or you land Mansion, your odds of getting a key from either of those places, or not Mansion, sorry, Island. Whether you land Sunny or Island, your odds of getting a key are quite high. And then you can make your way to the vault area up the hill, open the vault, get the loot, and there's also rifts nearby the vault. So not only are you going to get a lot of loot from your main source, whether that be Island or Sunny or both, you're going to get a good amount of loot from the vault. Also, you have rifts to where zone isn't really going to be a problem for you. And while this is a low-key spot, it's not like you're committing to having a really slow-paced game all game. You can hit the rift, get across the map, and get into the conflict relatively easily if that's what you want to do. And that's one of the nice things about a lot of these vault spots is they do have rifts. The next place we're going to talk about, unfortunately, doesn't have rifts at the vault, but it is going to be the farm outside Greasy. And there is a vault near here as well. There's a lot of different ways that you can play this. You can land at the farm, which has a good amount of loot. There's mushrooms for guaranteed shield and slurp barrels. Then you could either make your way to the vault, which is near the dusty buildings, and there's a vault there you can open up just fine. It's on the extreme edge of the map, but this is going to be a lot of loot for you. If you loot farm, if you loot your way to the dusty building, if you loot the dusty building and you loot the vault, you're going to have really good loot at that point in the game. Or you could just loot the farm in third-party Greasy. It's really up to you. You can kind of play this spot multiple ways, but I think this farm outside Greasy and the nearby vault is a really good spot. And once again, you can have your reality tree here as well and make use of that. The next location is going to be on the north end of the map, and this is going to be another location where we're going to be taking advantage of a vault rifts, and this is going to be the mansion into the workshop into the vault. Or you could just get rid of the mansion and go to the workshop into the vault. Either way, all of these locations are really nearby. The mansion is really close to the workshop, both of which have a decent amount of loot, and if you're playing duos, or squads, odds are you're not going to be too contested at either of these spots, so you could kind of split drop here. And the same could go for Sunny Steps as well. If you are playing squads or duos, whatever, and you see that you aren't contested when you're landing, you could send one player to one location and then you loot the other and kind of have a split drop. That way you can loot these smaller locations really quick. But this spot is going to be the mansion, has a good amount of loot. The workshop has a good amount of loot. And then from the workshop, there's actually a zip line that will take you up to where the 7 vault is. You can open that vault, once again, guaranteed supply drop, 2 legendary chests, slurp barrels, tons of loot, and there's rifts here as well, guaranteed. So once again, you can loot this rather quickly, especially if you do a split drop in a team game mode. Get to the vault, get to the rifts, and then you're back in the game. And it's not like this spot being edge is really going to cost you. Even if zone goes to the far side of the map, the rifts are going to make it really easy for you to get to zone or get into the action rather quickly, even though you are landing at a somewhat low-key spot. The next location is going to be the islands on the far right side of the map, and there's actually a lot of different ways you can play this spot because the outskirts of Jones's has a lot of loot as well. You could land there and work your way all the way up the coast, or you could land at the gas station, or you could just land at the islands themselves. Either way, there's a lot of loot in this area, and it's relatively uncontested. I never really see anybody coming out here. I do land Joneses a good amount, and after I'm done looting and fighting Joneses, I'm often able to go and loot this vault, which that to me tells me that there's no one that really lands out here in solos at least. So there's a lot of different paths you could take for this loot route, just depending on what you personally want to do. And then once again, nearby there's a 7 vault, which is going to be a guaranteed supply drop, 2 guaranteed legendary chests, lots of slurp barrels, and there's more rifts on the island with the vault as well. So same case as all of the other POIs I've talked about. Lots of loot, relatively uncontested. Now, when I say that, sometimes you might have people landing out here, but it's not like you're landing at a named POI or hot dropping at a named POI where there's guaranteed to be like several players, you know? If you see people out here, it's going to be an anomaly. Most of the time, you're going to be unconned. You're going to get a bunch of free loot. You should be able to get a key with all of this loot. Like, the keys just come down to luck, but odds are if you open a lot of chests, you will get a key eventually. Get the key, open the vault, loot the vault, take the rifts, and then from there, it's really up to you. You could get into the fight again, or you could rotate using the rift to safety and play for endgame from there. It's really up to you, and that's what I really like about some of these spots is it gets rid of some of the early game RNG, but how you want to play is really up to you. This next spot is a little more unpredictable, and that is going to be the boat that drives around on the outskirts of the map. I'm sure many of you are aware of this. It's been in the game for a while, but it changes where it is each game. So every time you load into a game, it's in a different spot. You have to look on the outskirts of the map and then land there accordingly. Now, I don't like this spot as much as some of the others because while the boat itself is the same every time, it's not like you have to learn to loot a new place each time. Where you're going to go afterwards is different each time. And sometimes you're going to be able to get a key from looting this boat. Sometimes you're not going to be able to. It is a good amount of loot, and there is enough slurp barrels for you to get to full health and shield without actually using any of the shield you find, so you're able to save it. There's the mast of the boat for a lot of wood. There's the coin bags for metal. There's a lot of things going for this boat, but the fact that it's in a different place each time really forces you to play each game very differently and like play every rotation very differently. Like a lot of the other spots I talked about, there's a direct route you're going to go. You know, you're going to land at Sunny, you're going to loot Sunny, and then you're going to go to the vault, and then you're going to rift from the vault. You know, it's very straightforward, and it's the same every time. With this boat, it being in a different location every time can really cost you, and this really rewards you knowing the map really well. If you're someone who knows the map like perfectly, like you know it like the back of your hand, you play a lot of Fortnite, this is a spot that could work out quite well for you. And in season 4, one nice thing they did was they added a launch pad, so it's going to be very easy for you to launch pad from this vault, or from the boat, sorry, onto the mainland, and potentially even further once you get to the mainland. I would say if you do want to loot this, hopefully you get a key. Check the map for any surrounding vaults. Again, that kind of comes into knowing the map really well. But personally, I think this boat is pretty overrated. A lot of people gas it really highly, but I feel like if you're a newer player or you aren't as experienced with the game, I think it's better to just learn a drop spot and get used to fighting that area, get used to looting that area, get used to rotating from that area. And the boat changes each game, and it's going to make each game like, you know, like a different problem to solve, and sometimes that'll be good for you. Sometimes you might get a godlike boat drop where it's right next to a vault and there's rifts there as well, and you have like a really nice rotation. Sometimes it's going to be in an area where there's not anywhere to go from there, or not any like really good supplemental loot spots, and it's not the best. But the boat is a really gassed location as it is. One final location that I really like, I talked about this in a previous video, is going to be mid-map. The NPC mid-map on the balloon sells shockwaves, which are really nice. There is a vault mid-map, which you can open, and then obviously this vault has an NPC, which separates it from the others, and the NPC sells both chrome Evo weapons, so if you like the chrome weapons, this NPC is good. And then there's also boogie bombs being sold at Coney Crossroads. So being able to land at the NPC, get guaranteed shockwaves, loot mid-map, and then go Coney and get boogies makes it very easy to win from here in zero build. But it was kind of different from this video because I was focusing more on low-key spots that aren't going to be contested. And mid-map is pretty much always going to be contested every game. But it's personally a spot that I like, and I've found really easy to get wins in Season 4 once you win the early game. But it does have that, you know, early game RNG aspect. Where has been your favorite places to land? Are you going to try out any of these spots? Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.